Teachers know that creating content goes beyond just getting ideas down on paper, and that creating well-written documents that look and sound professional are very important. Students with dyslexia or other print disabilities have great ideas, but they don't always come across that way because of poor or unclear writing. I'm going to show you how Editor, Alt Text for Images, and Accessibility Checker will help you and your students create content that is clear, concise, and easy for students with visual impairments to follow. One issue I often come across in student work is spelling, spell check, and correct grammar usage. I want my students' work to be professional, but they sometimes can't get close enough to the correct spelling for spell check to work. Students will oftentimes change whole sentences or paragraphs just to avoid using a word that they cannot spell. Let me show you an example. I've asked my students to write a reflection on what they can do in their daily lives to reduce environmental impact on our water sources. Right now, I'm creating a sample to guide them. So the first thing I'm going to do to help myself is edit the document using Editor. Editor has made quite a difference in the writing of some of my students and myself too. When I see a word with a red squiggle under it, I know it has been misspelled. I can then right-click on it and it gives me correction options. And with the new enhanced spell checker, it has significantly reduced the number of no suggestions and gives choices of words that include synonyms. For a student with dyslexia or other print disabilities, it goes one step further and will read aloud the word choices, adding another modality to help the student choose the correct word. Editor is so much more than just spell checking. As I look through this document, I can see that I have other words underlined that contained grammar errors. I see that the word affect is underlined. It is spelled correctly, but is it the correct usage of the word? I right-click on the word, and I'm told that it might be a possible word choice error. I can see that it is suggesting the word effect based on the context of my sentence. Again, I can have it read aloud to me, including the synonyms. But I am still not sure that it is the correct option. So I click on See More, and the Editor task pane opens on the right. I see that this is a grammar issue, and it gives not only synonyms for the correction, but synonyms for my original word so I can compare them. Synonyms help to reduce the energy students spend on low-level processing like spelling, and frees up mental desk space for higher-level cognitive tasks involved in writing, such as conceptual work, composition, and structure. A good example of this is how Editor will elevate the conciseness of language. For example, in this document, I see a gold dotted line. There aren't any rules broken, but the language could be improved. In the last paragraph of our document, there is the phrase, adversely impact us, with the gold dotted line underneath it. When I right-click, it suggests the more concise phrasing by just using the word hurt. If you click See More and open the Editor pane, you can see more detailed explanation, along with usage samples. Using concise language for students is important, especially with written directions for assignments. We all need to be clear, and I love that Editor helps me out when I get too wordy. Now that we have looked at Editor, let's look at 2 more ways we can create content that is accessible for all students. The Accessibility Checker is a tool that should go hand in hand with spelling and grammar checks. This document has a photo of garbage floating in water, which is a great visual to add to this sample reflection. I'm going to make sure everything is in a proper format. I open the Review tab and select Check Accessibility. This will open the Accessibility Checker pane and show me where there are issues that will impact users with disabilities. I see that my picture is a problem because it does not have alt text. To a screen reader, this image lacks meaning unless alt text is added. To add alt text, I right-click on the image and select Format Text. Then I pick the Layout and Properties icon. With a few simple changes, my example reflection is ready to show and help all students. We have seen many great ways to create and proof content. When we are creating content, we should remember to use Editor, add alt text to all images and graphics, and check for accessibility using the accessibility checker.